Ohio. I just got back on this trip. I did approximately 6,000 miles in 9 days. Okay, the first 2,000, or the first stretch was from Cali to East Coast, Ohio. Basically we did it like a sprint. Drove as fast as we could from here in Cali. Drove all through the night, slept like 2-3 hours. Okay. I drove up in this parking lot to take a picture with my van between two dinosaurs. Not even like cool skeleton. Actually, it was very cool. I think it was in New Mexico. I'm not sure. Okay. Either way, pulling away, got a flat. Had to get. Well, I had a spare, but the spare, like I still had thousands of miles to go. Okay. So stuck it out because we was at a safe area until we could get a tire replacement. So that's what we did. We got a tire. It took us about 2 hours. Actually, I thought it was pretty good. In and out. Okay, that was the first breakdown. After that, we was coming in Arizona, I think, or something of that nature, and I started to get off the exit. And I had like no clutch. I couldn't put it in third gear. I mean, it was gone. So pumped it a couple times by accident. I mean, just trying to figure out how to get it to work, and got it back on. Later, called my Volkswagen friend Chris, and he's pretty much my go-to guy on when I break down, and I do that a lot. We diagnosed it. Basically, I pumped my clutch to get all the way to Ohio, and he has a part waiting for me when I get there. So he changed part for me in the parking lot. So that was break number 2. Okay. So far, so good. Like I thought, okay, if that's the only thing that happens, we are in the clear. Okay, we came from California where it was 60 degrees, right? And we went from here, and by the time we made it to Ohio, it was just simply freezing cold. Okay. Then we went from Ohio further north and started at the beginning of Route 66, came down. Now, we didn't take Route 66 the whole time, mostly because, well, it was cold, and wanted to get away from the cold. Drove pretty hard till we got to Texas, New Mexico, I think, and we were on and off Route 66. Yeah, we could have probably driven a lot more than we did, but still had a great time. Okay, back to the story. So anyhow, so then my coolant hoses, the radiator, or not the radiator, the hose clamps. Okay, I don't know if this was the shift in temperature, or if this was simply just from the vibration of the beginning of the first few thousand miles of the trip. Okay, so we got that sorted out. So then we're rolling back, coming back. Let's just know my average speed is probably 65, 70. I averaged the gas when, okay, I have no gas gauge, so I monitored my gas very closely. Every 200 miles I had to stop. Just had to happen. I carried an extra gas can with me the whole time, 5 gallons. And yeah, I never used it the whole time. I averaged 16.8, I think, on the whole trip. And I was very weighed down. By very weighed down, I mean I had like extra everything, okay? So, except for this right here. This is what I needed to bring with me, and I didn't. Let's see if I can focus that in. It's a little dark. So this is what I needed to bring with me. And I thought, okay, I have a brand new one, I'll be good, right? No, that's not the case. Not when you have Volkswagens, apparently. So, New Mexico. That's, well, not New Mexico, okay? For the desert alone kicked this van's ass. And we're talking winter desert, okay? Not even summer. So, I broke this is my throttle cable. Okay, that was the next breakdown. Okay, and it actually didn't even snap. I had to fully break it. But let me tell you a little bit about my car, or about my van. Okay, this is an 85 GL passenger, or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure you more educated Volkswagen folks can put me straight there. This, once it got to my possession, was I bought it for, I don't know, something ridiculously cheap. Like, I bought it really cheap, went there, planned on driving it home, and had to tow it home. Should have known right then I should stop. Did I learn? No. I fell in love, okay? Towed it home. Seriously. Mistake one. Alright. So, when I got it, it was a 1.8 converted. It was a 1.8 8-valve inline. The person prior had converted it. Don't know who it was. It was an automatic. Okay. My friend Chris converted it to a manual. With really, I mean, my whole family has went through crazy sacrifices in boredom and freezing cold weather for this van. I took my whole family. Well, okay, that's a lie. My wife, Chris, and a friend all went to the junkyard so that way they could pull parts to convert this over to a manual for me. That was a few years ago. Since then, been through 2 trans. This one seems to be holding pretty good. Here comes my lover. She's busy. Chris converted it through like a winter to, basically he converted it to a manual trans. Okay, with that conversion came a new slave cylinder. Okay, the one that broke down on the way. Yeah. Alright, eBay. Now what can you do? I usually don't hold on to vehicles this long, so I guess I don't experience or the effects of buying cheap parts. I'm gonna just go through a list of parts that are all new on this thing. Okay, it has all new brakes, new clutch assembly.
Hey.
Yeah.
What did you call me for?
Oh, I heard you and I was just saying hi.
Baby, can you help me do chores?
Yeah. Alright. So this is how I have my setup. I don't know how it'll work for you people, but it works great for me. Okay, I have 4 little girls and they love riding facing each other. And anytime friends come along, they love it too. So this is what works best for me. I mean, this is my toolbox that I keep in here because, well guys, we have Volkswagens. So I didn't have a tow hitch and I needed to get some, you know, I took a cross-country trip. So I carried a lot of stuff with me. I'm talking extra clothes. Huh. I even carried a transmission. Seriously. If you look at my photos, it was in that green bag. Here in the back, there's my Daisy. So here in the back, okay, that is a regular Z bed. However, my conversion, I have that 1.8 8-valve. It's upright. So what I've done is I have this like wood platform. It flips out and basically just hovers right above it. You see I have that ratchet strap right there. And it's basically the same setup as an adventure wagon, I think, from what I've looked at the photos. I've never seen one This is just me balling on a budget, trying to get things to work that fits my family's needs. Okay? So, whoops. Okay, what I did like about traveling in this van. Okay, first, you get so much attention in this thing. I mean, you get so much, it's crazy. Okay? But you have to really love this kind of vehicle. Because when you're getting passed by a semi on a flat surface, you have to have a smile on your face. When you know that you have it floored and you still can't keep up. Okay, you Subaru guys or 1.8 turbo guys, that's great. Look, I don't have that. Balling on a budget, remember. Balling on a budget. I didn't even have windshield wipers for, I think, the first 3 years I had this vehicle. I just ran X. It worked great. So if anybody ever asks, you can get by without wipers. Don't recommend it, but you can do it. Just avoid the storms. So on this trip, I went through every weather condition except for blazing hot heats. Now I currently live in California, so I see my share of blazing hot heats. I live in the valley. I'd say it reaches, I'd say that it probably it's in the hundreds. I don't know what it is, but enough to definitely overheat your vehicle. Alright, so that part of this van, now I don't have a coolant temp gauge either. My cluster has just basically taken a crap recently, and that's okay, because I'll get it fixed. Upsides to the van. You get a lot of peace signs, and a lot of people take the van's picture when you're traveling. In general, you always have a place to sleep. Even when you're broke down, you still have a place to sleep. If you take this van, make sure, one, no matter what weather condition, you have enough food, water, and however, anytime we ever broke down, we really was just lucky. That's not always the case. We've had our share of bad experiences. This trip went rather well, okay? For what we did, and the time we did it, I couldn't be happier. Every time that the vehicle broke down, I was able to get it back. Okay, my throttle cable, when it broke, I kind of sensed it was going to happen, and I had an extra throttle cable with me, which was great because I doubt they carry that at any regular parts store. However, it happening in the middle of the Mojave Desert was an issue, but we got that sorted out. When the alternator went out, also in the desert, 60 miles from the closest parts store, okay? Also huge inconvenience, but I had an extra one at home that if I would have prepared like I should have, that wouldn't have been an issue either. But I didn't, okay? So let's reflect on this. Alternator, slave cylinder, throttle cable, every hose clamp possible, power steering clamp, which is a hose clamp on power steering, but you get the point. Beside mechanical problems, what did I not like about this van? I could really get by with anything if this thing would just mechanically be sound. Okay, I put the extra effort to make sure that it is always mechanically sound. I'm very, very, very anal-retentive about it. Because I drive around, my kids all the time, so on and so forth. Okay, however, the size sucks. Flat out. It sucks. That's what I did not like. The dependability sucks and the size sucks. Here's the thing. I don't know if I was in any other car if it would have done any better in the conditions that I was driving in. Now I'm in this one-wheel wonder, and I'm telling you, I drove in some horrible snowstorms. The van did great. It really did. As far as traction, I couldn't have been happier. I never once thought I was going to get stuck. Never once got out of control. The brakes did good. Everything did good. What I didn't like is the heat wasn't all that sufficient once I hit, but that's kind of expected when you got a blown heater blower. However, I had this little Mr. Buddy heater, well, you can't see it right now. I have this little Mr. Buddy heater, and anytime we'd stop, we could warm up the car with that. If I could do it all again, would I do it? I would do it. At minimum, I think you need 7 to 10 days to cross the country and enjoy it. I did not take that. I regret that, but simply did not have the time to do it. If I could do it all again, I would take... I think it would be a really enjoyable trip if it spanned over like a month. I didn't have that kind of time. So I still slammed out I would call it like a Vanagon marathon. I mean, it was just like, that thing never stopped running. Really, this thing, it really did do good, but I don't think, now that I've done it, I would go out of my way to do it again in this vehicle. Unless I had the extra time. If I had the extra time, I think it would be a great trip. It was great for, it's great for like weekends. Maybe the Westie guys have more, you know, maybe the Westie guys have better layouts and it works better for them. I don't have the Westie or have the budget for a Westie. I have this GL that I'm trying to do miracles, and so far it's done pretty good. So far, actually, it's been an emotional wreck. I go back and forth on this thing so good. Did I mention it's done great? Oh my gosh, I can't stand this thing. This thing is a love-hate relationship. Any Vanagon owner, you know this. I daily drive this, so I try to keep up with it the best I can. I know every little vibration, I know every noise, I can tell when something changes. I mean, I really know this vehicle, better than I've known any of them before. I forgot to mention, I also broke one of these window cranks. Here, let me show you. It's one of the... Okay, so I broke one of these. I bought two when I bought them from Go Westie. They're raised window cranks because of this crappy speaker I put in here. So it's the only speaker I had, but it does the job. So anyways, it broke right here on the one I ordered from Go Westie. In case anybody cares about that. Okay, as far as the inside of the van, here's the setup I have. I have this Honda Odyssey cup holder, and it'll flip down, open up that space, and then you can flip that rear seat to allow you access from the back, which works out great. But honestly, I never take that way. I'm willing to walk around just so I don't have to bend over because I have back problems. So I use this mount for both my little action camera and for my cell phone along the trip. It works great. She don't get too far from me. So this is the tire that I picked up when my tire blew. All for a photo, for the record. Okay, this is what I had before. I don't know if you can tell the difference in the tread pattern. I like this one a lot better, but that one did very well. The thing about this van, when somebody's sitting here in the back and they're trying to talk to somebody in the front, the thing is, the people can't hear up here. That person ends up just screaming the whole time. The advantage to that is when the kids are screaming in the back on the road trip, it's like there's a divider right here. I don't know. Do you guys experience this in your vans? When you're in the front, you can't hear it. When you're in the front, it doesn't bother you. The downside is, it kind of gives you, it's like this long humming noise all day long that you never get rid of. Never. However, if you look at the bright side, it can help you fall asleep. Not good if you're the driver. I don't fall asleep. Do you have to yell like this in your van? I feel like all we do is yell back and forth in the van. So half the time, it leads to a drive that nobody talks. Which can be great. The silence of the road. But let's be honest, if the van's running, there is no silence anywhere close to it. These things are loud and obnoxious. Look at the bright side. The people on their cell phones might look up faster when they hear you coming. Could prevent an accident. Could make a bear run away. All in all, I love this van. It's been a great trip. I'll probably hang on to it for as long as I can. It'll probably keep breaking down on me. Maybe one day I'll get another vehicle.